So I'm out here wanting to help describe what we consider the definition of keystone probiotics, just keystone organisms in our microbiome. And I thought there was no better example than a coral reef. And when you get and dive on a coral reef, what I can tell you is they are the most magnificent things on the planet. There are so much diversity, so much life, and the types of life. There's invertebrates, corals, small sharks, a number of triggerfish and angelfish and butterfly fish and the types of corals, the fan corals and the brain corals. It's an amazing environment. And I would liken it to our microbiota or our ecosystems in our gastrointestinal tract, especially the colon. The diversity is astounding in our colon, and it's there for a reason, like it is on a coral reef. So when we talk about keystone species, there is a keystone species on these coral reefs, and one of them is called the damselfish. And the damselfish maintains the health of the corals. If the damselfish were to be removed from the ecosystem, then the coral reef would suffer tremendously. Now, there are a lot of other fish and a lot of types of organisms that live there that wouldn't have as critical of a impact if you remove them. However, the damselfish happens to be a keystone organism. You remove it, the coral reef suffers. Like our gut, if we remove keystone organisms, which has been happening over the last half a century or more, we suffer the consequences. Now, we can replace many of these things. This is where most of our research has been being performed, and we've created probiotics that contain keystone organisms. And I want to show you this because adding these organisms back is tremendously helpful to the entire ecosystem of our gut. And you may not know exactly how to find them or what they mean and how they compare to others, but I'm going to show you on this bottle with the coral reef behind you, because it's amazing. At the very bottom of this bottle, you'll see these next generation species. And you can see the Chrysanthelia, the Doria, there's Eubacterium, Akkermansia, Butyrococcus. These are all keystone organisms in this product called Metabolic Biomic. And they're in every single one of our products, these keystone organisms. And we are the only place you can get them, and it's taken us a decade in order to even bring them to you. And I thought, what a great way to describe keystone when you're looking at this beautiful, brilliant, dynamic coral reef, which, oddly enough, does exist in your GI tract. You have a beautiful, dynamic ecosystem of microorganisms, which, by the way, the coral reefs are abound with microorganisms. They maintain the vast majority of the labor, the hard labor on a reef, just like they do in our gut. So that is what the difference is between a keystone organism and other probiotics, which are very important. They can be human-based. They go by the names of Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium, Saccharomyces, certainly important probiotics, but they are not keystone organisms that are found on the bottom of each of our bottles. And they are only available through us, minus the Akkermansia. So that's the important note I wanted to bring today. And I hope that you guys enjoy your next coral reef visit, now that you can think of it as your colon, because they are an amazing environment. Thank you for the time, and check us out below.